I'm Christine Stavropoulos.
Κι εγώ, ο Νίκος Σαμίδης.
Maybe you were born in Athens. Or maybe you're Yawaz.
Ίσως μεγάλωσες μιλώντας σου ελληνικά. Ή ίσως είσαι το ξαδελφάκι που φεύγει για Ντουμπάι για δουλειά για 1 χρόνο μόνο.
Wherever you are in the world, if Greece lives in your heart.
Αυτό το ταξίδι είναι για σένα. Φύγαμε.
Welcome to another episode of the Greek Podyssey.
Welcome to another episode of the Greek Podyssey. You're always opening the episodes.
Oh,
Have you noticed
let's start
that?
Again.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. Honestly.
Everyone wants to see Robbie Williams open.
No,
look-alike.
why? We're having a podcast, not a TV show.
Well, we were discussing, Nico, what is a subject that is very emotive and relevant to the Greek Diaspora and still contentious, satisfying, uniting, divisive. It's a lot of things. And that is associations, from when they started, how they've evolved over the years, the decades, and what's their relevance, if any, and is there a future for them moving forward?
Okay, I want to add, if they serve the scope that they're supposed to serve. That's for me the main key point into this. Are Greek and in general ethnic associations serving the scope they're supposed to serve?
What do you think is the scope, though, that they've got to serve?
Well, of course, first of all, is the unity of the, because now we're talking for the Greek associations, the unity, the maintenance of identity and culture for the Greeks living abroad, the connection with the homeland, and I think those are the main ones.
Do you think generationally some of those things have become less important to, say, the generation of our kids and moving forward to their kids? Do you think they need all those points that you've just raised?
100%. 100%. But the point is not if they need the generations. Are they interested in oral cultural matters and aspects? The new generations, they're visiting Greece. They're still having connections with grandparents, uncles, with the village, with the cities that they're coming from. And I think now, like more than ever, the younger generation wants to go to Greece, even for holidays.
But do they need an association to do that?
The job of an association is to maintain Greek culture, Greek identity, and to support through many ways to do that. Arts, festivals, events, everything that includes into that.
Well, let's start with why they came into existence,
Okay.
and then let's break it all down and we'll go through its evolution, where we potentially see its future. So they existed in the first place because the first generation migrants, they created associations for survival. They came to a foreign country, they had no connection, nothing, and they needed, for their mental health and a lot of reasons, they needed this connection to their homeland. So they were created for housing help, translation assistance, social networks, sometimes jobs.
Not sometimes, a lot of times.
Yeah, jobs.
Job
Yeah,
was
a big thing. It was a place, obviously, to hear the language and eat familiar food. There were community lifelines. So, well, I'll say the Greek community, the Greek Orthodox community of New South Wales wasn't just about church. It was also a welfare hub during the 50s and 70s migration hub. Then these things have eroded over time. There's an ageing membership. The challenge is bringing younger membership to the fold and finding a reason of relevance for them. I mean, let's not go far. When we go to some of these association dances, what's the age demographic that attends these events?
You tell me.
Well, we're probably on the younger end of the scale, maybe 10 years, at the most 20 years younger than us. That's it. Very rarely will you find people in their 20s or 30s that are attending these association events.
You got a point here, but for me the point is that all these associations, they've been stacked on 70s, 80s, because there is no new blood in it. So the ideas are not fresh. They're not attractive to the younger generations. And that's sad because people like my son age, for example, they don't have somewhere to go to find people from the same age. So that's why they're not going. They're not getting involved with that.
Do you find, though, that one of the reasons that it hasn't changed is people that establish these organizations don't want to change and they don't want to leave. They hang on. They don't have the vision, not because they don't want to have the vision, but you get to a certain point where this is all I have to offer. I don't know anymore. I'm not of the next generation to understand that generational gap and what they need. So I'm just trying to hang on to what I know best and clinging to that. And I think learning to let go is a strength and it's a positive move to keep these associations going, to make them relevant for generations. Like, I'll get to a point where I think if I was leading an organisation for X amount of years, I'll get to the point where I think, you know what, I've given all I know to the best of my ability. But there's probably someone out there that has a different view, a different window, and they need to bring their vision and their wealth and their experience to attract a different market of people.
Okay, the truth is that experienced people, they are in need in key positions. That's true if you want to run it successfully. But on the other hand, you need to have fresh ideas, fresh voices, and representatives from different age groups. And that's why it's important for the young generation to get attracted to be involved in these organizations.
But the young people are going to need a reason. Just wanting them to come on board, you're young, we need you because we need young people.
That's what I said. They need to find a reason to be attracted
They're not
by
getting
the
that
organization.
reason.
No, they're not.
And when they see the political infighting, the political stuff that happens in almost all associations, if you're a young professional, you're going out, you've got your social life, you've got you think, why do I want to go and be dragged down by that garbage? Leave it. So it's not revolutionising. Also the format, the silo that has the dance. They may have a harbour cruise. The younger people don't need these avenues anymore. Make it something different. Bring different types of... Look at what is happening in Greece at the moment. Don't try to be an institution of the 50s and the 70s when you go to Greece and you're going to be a fish out of water. It's evolved so much over there. So why not be guided by the changing face of Greece and become relevant, so then the younger people can relate to that because they go to Greece and they live a new experience. I think it's nothing like that back at home. We're still stuck in the 50s and 70s.
Exactly, that's what I said. They're not attracted by the content of these organizations. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, some organizations, they're doing a great job. They're doing film festivals, they're doing open festivals, they're doing like book festivals. They're doing a good job. But at the same time, is the right approach to attract more young people, because we need young people. That's the future. Otherwise, it will be a retirement village. It will be a committee of people over 50. Let's say that, because that's the majority. It is.
Yeah. Okay. Which goes back to my original point, where to be able to facilitate what you've just outlined, you need people at the helm to realise, I've had my day, I'm going to move away. Because when you hang on to something, you want to hang on to it for the way it is, and people that come on board to conform to the picture that you have and want to continue having because that's all you know. So unless we know when people let go, I can't see how we can facilitate these organisations, which I think are very important to continue. It's important to have a hub where we celebrate things like Ohi Day, National Day, and then you've got each island that has Liberation Day, or they may have a person of esteemed achievement like an artist or a poet, and those people continue to get recognised in their little homes. You're not going to get the new people coming through.
But is this only, Christine, the things out there that they haven't been touched
exactly
by these organizations? And why we stuck in this like standard form of celebrating? Okay, it is important to celebrate Ohi Day. It is important to have this in your schedule. But what's happening after that? What are you doing in the middle, in between? Yeah. That's very important. And you see, some of the most successful associations, and I'm talking here in Australia, but because I'm not really aware or informed about the associations in United States or Canada, and you guys can tell us what's happening over there.
Yeah, we'd love you to reach out. I'm imagining the same problems exist.
Time for our legal segment with Natasha Karamihu. Please note, the content of this podcast is for general informational purposes only. It does not constitute legal, financial, or professional advice. The views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and should not be relied upon for making decisions. Always consult a qualified professional for advice tailored to your situation.
Good morning from Greece. I'm Natasha Karamihu, solicitor in Athens. One of the topics that drew most attention is that of the Greek citizenship acquisition. I find your interest duly justified. Firstly, because I'm aware that many of you are struggling with the Greek authorities unsuccessfully for some time now. And secondly, because the acquisition of the Greek citizenship is a top priority project for your families. Let's clarify some aspects of this complicated topic, starting with the critical factors influencing the citizenship acquisition. Those might be the degree of kinship somebody has with a Greek citizen, parent, or grandparent. If the origin from a Greek person concerns only the paternal or maternal line of kinship, the applicant's date of birth, or the date and type of marriage of his or her Greek ancestors. How can anyone acquire the Greek citizenship? Every person acquires Greek nationality at the moment of birth, similar to the nationality one of his or her parents bear. This is the law of blood. Or, under specific conditions, the nationality of the place of birth. The law of blood is very important. There are cases of citizens living on a Greek territory for a specific period of time and under specific conditions, for example because they came to Greece for work and then left the country on their own will. They might have been lodged in the Greek registries, but this fact alone does not grant them the Greek nationality. So we acquire the Greek nationality by birth. The child of a Greek man or woman acquires Greek citizenship from birth. Anyone born in Greek territory also acquires Greek citizenship from birth, provided that he or she does not acquire foreign citizenship or that he or she is of unknown citizenship. Secondly, with recognition, a foreign child, a non-Greek child, born out of wedlock of parents, is legally recognized as a child with Greek citizenship, and he or she is fully assimilated to a child born within wedlock if his or her parent recognized him or her, and if at that time he or she is under 18 years old. Thirdly, by adoption. A foreign child who was adopted before he or she turns 18 years old as a child of a Greek man or woman becomes Greek from the time of adoption. Moreover, by enlistment in the armed forces. Greeks living abroad, admitted to the military schools or enlisted in the armed forces as volunteers, can automatically acquire Greek citizenship. Can somebody acquire the Greek citizenship by marriage? The acquisition of Greek citizenship by marriage is not automatic, but can facilitate the process for non-Greek spouses. However, the law is complicated and usually requires the issuance of a certificate of citizenship by declaration and registration in the municipality after proof of marriage and the spouse's citizenship. There is a number of procedures through which we can acquire the Greek citizenship. It is hard to analyze all of them in a podcast. In my opinion, the naturalization process is the most difficult and lengthy one. In which cases shall we apply for naturalization? In cases where the Greek origin cannot be proven directly from the parents because they were never lodged in the Greek registries. So, we need to prove that we draw our Greek origin from our grandparents, and we must prove it with respective documents of their origin. Supporting documents proving Greek origin may include data concerning ancestors' registrations, information on their family history, consular registrations, acquisition of Greek nationality by their relatives and passports, no matter how old they are, issued by consulates or other local authorities. The application for naturalization of Greeks living abroad is submitted to the Greek consul of their place of residence, who forwards it to the Ministry of Interior with a report, which includes information documenting the applicant's status. The competent department, after examining all information included in the applicant's file, suggests to the Minister of Interior whether or not to accept the request for naturalization. The most critical part of the naturalization process is the interview conducted by the consul. In particular, a rough knowledge of the Greek language and of Greek history, geography, and political institutions are assessed. The applicant should be able to refer to major historical events, to recall the most important political personalities, and acknowledge 2 or 3 famous Greek poets and authors. In general, he or she must satisfy the essential prerequisites of the Greek nationality acquisition. As we all understand, the citizenship acquisition process is not easy nor straightforward. It is a process with many jumps during its itinerary. What we must also keep in mind is that every legal case, whether it concerns nationality law or any other law, is different. The existence of an experienced solicitor on this matter is of foremost importance.
We see the problem, I say it's a problem, that these associations are serving as not only the unity of the Greeks, but there is also a political influence into that. So they'll be influenced by political views. You can't do that in an association that it's for all Greeks. You can't rule an association based on political views. Those views should be outside, not in this type of the committees.
So the associations can't be politically aligned.
And I'll talk about all associations, why Greeks are divided and not united as one. Why we have sub-associations. Okay, I understand the Cretans must have, the Mytileneans have their own, but when it comes to unity, should these associations be represented in the main Greek community? So every hub has his representative into that. I don't know if it's happening. Does it happening?
No.
No, it's not happening.
No.
Okay.
Where there's an umbrella and there's an umbrella where all the associations have a delegate. No, there's no such thing. And you know what? To be honest, I don't know if it'll work, because you would just be taking the politics and the problems and the infighting to a bigger level.
Yeah, but you see
know,
what's happening? Like it's like you have a different shop there, you have another shop there, you have another shop there, and instead of having a united try to maintain your identity, you split it in 50 different parts, and you're fighting together for what?
What I have established in my many, many years being amongst within the community and participating, there are elements of people that love power to the point where they will control the membership to make sure that they retain that power. They put people on committees that they know aren't a danger to them, and then you get other people that come in and they challenge and they fight. And
that's a politics. That's why I'm saying
that's
politics
what I'm saying.
should be out
but
of
it's also
this committee.
It's also human nature, where there are certain people that, are very autocratic. They enjoy having the control and the power. They don't want to relinquish it. They become exclusive rather than inclusive. And that becomes a breakdown in community and society. And then you're looking at the following generations, the ones that we keep talking about engaging, and they go, shit, I don't want to be a part of that. I've got my life. And we're losing them. And we're going to lose relevance. So it's not such a procedural thing. It's a human nature thing. We need to change our think tank.
I think it's also a creative part of being a member on a board in a community, or as a member of a community. There is a creative part. Like, for example, I would love to get involved in no one has called me all these years here in Australia. They know my background. Don't advertise me. You were ready. I knew you were ready. No, don't. There is no reason. They know my background.
Yeah.
No one said, for example, okay, I won't say from where, but please, Nico, can you come and take care, for example, to be the music director of the festival?
I wasn't going to sell you. What I was going to say is that's the problem. The problem is you're not finding people that have the skill set, because if you're not politically aligned with their ideology, or you're a threat to someone that wants to retain control and power, you're going to be left out. It doesn't matter how good you are, and that is the problem. We need to be sourcing people that have specific skill sets because we're in a crucial position in history, In the beginning, you didn't need skill sets. You needed a group of people that came together to speak languages, have the choro. It was the familiarity and the connection to Greece. We've moved way beyond that now on many levels. So to have an association that's going to be productive and endure into the future, you need people that have a specific skill set to offer, not just a number and a seat warmer, a flower pot. And you need the people that are at the helm to be inclusive. I think constitutions play a big role. Maybe the constitutions need to be overhauled. Maybe the constitutions need to have bylaws that say fixed terms. Like you can't be, because I know I was in an association where the president sees it as her legacy, like her right, that no, I will never leave. And you just can't have that. You need to have fresh ideas, fresh people. You can't just hang on to a position because you say it was willed to me, therefore I own it. Constitutions, I think, need to be overhauled.
I'll ask you something. Here in Sydney, for example, we're having 3 different big Greek festivals. Why is that? Why we have one in Parramatta? Why we have one in Cars Park? Why we have one in Tellingham? Why this is happening and not to have a huge, massive, big one to try to unite everyone in one festival?
I'm not against that, because people might want a few festivals throughout the year. And if it's a certain parish the community, what we should be doing as people is not saying let's have one, but as the Diaspora, as citizens, let's attend and support each one.
But all these are being based on political views, because the committee creating the 3 different festivals, the committees, are from different sources, correct? They're different. The Parramatta Festival, for example.
Well, the Parramatta one is the church parish that has its big festival. I don't see how that is politically...
Like, why you separate the church? Why you separate the church from the Greek community?
Well, that's been an
issue.
issue.
But why are you doing that?
Well,
it shouldn't be like that.
So I just want to put into perspective, because people are listening from America think, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, we've got plenty of festivals here in Australia. Please come to Sydney if you want to feel Greek.
You see, we've got the Greek Orthodox community and we've got the archdiocese, and there's always been the grey area with property and who owns what, and these are the politics, but that's those top tier organisations.
Yeah, but you see, even in the church, they're split it.
Well, I believe the church should be the archdiocese. That is the umbrella of the religion. If you're going to talk church, for me personally, I look at it as the archdiocese. Otherwise, anything else for me is a schism.
A schism? No, you can't call it a schism.
Well, not a schism from orthodoxy, but, you know, we're getting into a religious thing now because we wanted to sort of stick to the debate of associations. You're raising the key top echelons. I'm talking about the associations from the different parts of Greece. They're the ones to me that matter most, because they're the ones that the big umbrella organisations rely upon, which is why when there is an opening of a festival, they invite the presidents or the delegates from each association, because that is your grassroots. How do we keep grassroots organisations relevant? That is where my point is.
Coming up next, the segment with Helco Consulting and Lucas Theodorou, tips and solutions for all business and investments in Greece.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Greek Podyssey, where we'll be talking all things business in Greece. We will be moving a little bit away now from the investment space and start to focus on visas and how can someone move to Greece for work. Is Greece worth it to move for a career? Are there any opportunities to work remotely? And what are my visa options if I'm not able to get Greek citizenship as a non-European citizen? Now, all of these are very, very common questions, and I'm starting to see trends now of people moving to Greece either as nomads that can work remotely or might have a business online, or people that genuinely do want to move for their career and career growth. We do see this a lot, not only amongst the Greek diaspora from around the world, but through other foreigner groups, especially countries like Canada and Australia that have work holiday visa arrangements for under 30s. We will initially, though, touch on the topic of the digital nomad. And how does someone maybe that doesn't have the European citizenship that still wants to move to Greece as a nomad come? There is this fantastic option that came out a few years ago called the digital nomad visa. which effectively allows someone to stay in Greece as an initial resident for 2 years, and then upon renewal of the visa, they can stay another 3. This visa option is great for people that have remote work, that have a remote business or an online business that moves around with them and can enjoy the lifestyle of Greece whilst working from their laptop. Now, there are certain requirements like meeting minimum income thresholds, but all in all, it's a very, very easy visa to get if you do have remote work. And it's a visa perfect for younger people as well that do have certain options and lifestyles with their workplaces, or maybe want a different lifestyle to enjoy the sunshine in the Mediterranean. But the digital nomad visa, all in all, is not only a great way to step into Greece and understand the business landscape from a distance, but it's also to build your long-term path in Greece, as it can lead you to residency after your first renewal. And after you are resident for 5 years, you can become a permanent resident. And that is effectively your permanent stay in Greece. And the digital nomad visa, time and time again, has proven for a lot of non-Greeks and non-European citizens that don't have access to the citizenship, that it is a great pathway not only to Greece and to its beautiful lifestyle that it can offer you, but also to its business advantages and benefits through programs like the digital nomad visa. It is also great, especially with younger people, or for families that have remote work with the couple. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll stay in tune for next week.
You see that from your experience here in Australia, we have organizations with the tremendous portfolio of assets to be under
Exploited.
administration.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is that the committees were crooked.
Well, they did. Look, let's remember that they're all volunteers, number one. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
But
When you
have the
volunteer
skill set,
yourself,
have a
sorry.
skill set.
When you volunteer yourself, you don't have in mind, okay, I'm getting into this committee to fill up my pockets. And you see, I don't want to say names of these committees, but you see this, like, they have huge assets, 70, 80 million, like, portfolio in assets, and they are under administration.
Which is sad.
Of course it
And
is.
it's more than sad, it's tragic, because the members worked over generations, over decades, to build these assets. And then you have a few incompetent people that have self-interest, political agendas, and it goes to beep shit.
And I want to say something. Whoever is involved in this kind of committees, you guys have a responsibility, because you don't just represent yourselves and your own needs. You represent the Greeks of the diaspora, the Cypriots of the diaspora, everyone. So whatever you do impacts their identity. So you're responsible for any crooked actions you made. You're responsible, and you should take action to rectify whatever you did.
Bravo, Nico. That's exactly right. Sometimes I want to go to organizations that I've sat on and I listen to the conversations, and I want to ask, let's go around the table and ask, what is your specific skill set and why are you here? That, rather than let's get the numbers to fill a board, let's get the right people to fill the board that have a certain skill set, because now we're dealing with a lot more money, a lot more responsibility, a lot more public image, a lot more responsibility on our shoulders to leave a legacy and culture for the next generations. If we're breaking it down because we've got the wrong people involved, or people that don't want to let go, or people that think an association is just about having a dance, whatever it is they do, get out.
And now we're coming into this. Are these associations serve the scope?
Not adequately, no.
There's some of them they do.
Some are.
Some of them they do. They have a very...
Some have a youth committee, which is becoming active, and because they have a progressive board, they've got a more corporate board, they have a visionary board, and they know how to engage. And they know how to engage other organisations within the community. When you don't know how to engage and you want to keep it all to yourself, you splinter the community, you create cliques here and there. You're never going to get a youth board. You're never going to get subcommittees, because people just don't want to touch you because you're poison.
For me, the youth board is very important and should have the 50% of the votes on the board.
Yes, there should be a youth representative from that subcommittee on the main board.
No, I'm saying that the decisions that should be made, the 50% must be from the youth board.
Yes.
If the committee doesn't have a youth board, I think it's not up to date. They need an upgrade.
I see our generation to the mentors of the youth committees. When you look at some people on boards, you think, are you a good mentor? Are you the right person to mentor the next generation? Probably in 90%, they're not. I just want to say go.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that they're not listening. They don't want to listen.
It's power.
It is power.
the
But yeah,
power.
that's all committees. Committees is power. Even if you are in your strata committee, like on the board of your building, you have a power.
Yeah.
And
It's human. That's what I said. It goes back to human nature. But not everybody is like that, Nico. I've worked with some very dedicated people, professional people. Those people, though, tend to be excluded because they don't toe the line with the people that want to hang on to power. They want to be invited to an event and be said, and here we have the president of this association, Mrs. or Mr. The photo opportunity. And they live for that. They don't look at beyond the next generation or the youth committee. It's all about
Yeah.
And when you make it all about you, you can never make it about someone else. And that's our inherent problem.
I agree. I agree with that. But for me, that's my proposal. If you want to have a transparent committee, you should have 50% of the votes to be in the age group that represent the youth. And I'll go up, let's say, to 35 or to 40, from 20 to 40.
Yes.
Just put these people in and you'll see a big difference. You'll see the new blood bringing in ideas, bringing up the passion to work for the Greek community.
We have a whole new world, Nico. I look at what my kids are working on in marketing, in abilities, in projects. There's AI technology used properly. There's networking. That's missing in nearly all of the associations. And I don't know whether in Canada and America and the UK where you have these same problems. We would love the dialogue with you in the comments, or if anybody from another association in another country would like to come onto the podcast and have this dialogue with us. We'd love to know what if this is an inherent problem.
How happy you are with your committee, with your community. How happy you are there in Chicago with your Greek community of Chicago. I've seen Greek communities everywhere, in Korea, in Japan, everywhere. So let us know, does your committee, your community serves the scope that's supposed to?
We're very important because we are the custodians of Hellenism around the world. It's a responsibility that needs to be conducted properly and connect back to Greece with relevance. I think we have stopped connecting back to Greece with relevance. We're stuck in our old habits with the same old people. What I see to be revolutionary, you need to update the constitutions, which give limited terms. I would do away with proxy voting, or at least minimise the number that you can hold. I would have people that actually put in an application stating what their skill set is and why they are applying for a position on a committee, rather than, come with me because you're going to vote with me and, then we'll have a voting block. Get rid of all that. Get rid of the politics. Apply for a position based on your skill set. Update your constitution and have youth being a part of that revolutionary change and mentoring the youth to be the next generation, following through from a youth committee. And listen to them. We're not listening to them, are we?
No, we don't. Because if someone comes and brings an idea, let's say, I think it's a good idea to have a Greek-style beach party for 3 days at Brighton Les Sands. So we're going to take permit from the council. We're going to put sunbeds, and we're going to turn it to a beach bar for 3 days.
Yes.
We will support it by the Skin Cancer Council. We will promote the agenda for the melanoma, for example.
Yep, exactly.
And
Make it relevant.
Make
Perfect.
it relevant. Put some sponsors in.
Yes.
But if someone comes with this idea into this committee, I'll say, "What are you talking about? Are we going to do this in Brighton? It's not. It's very hard, and it's not.
You could
It's
do
not
it
a
for
good.
free.
It's
Yeah.
not a good
But
idea."
If you attached a campaign towards it, which is melanoma and skin safety, and you did that in conjunction with the council, you're ticking all the boxes. You're addressing a community awareness thing. You're engaging the youth and in that, and you are giving them a Greek experience with food and music and a whole lot that little element of Greece. The other thing we can do.
Hold on.
Yes?
Before you say that, keep that in your mind. The other thing you want to do.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea to do this as a Greek Podyssey.
Yes.
We can put this event as a Greek Podyssey. We'll try to find a beach that is suitable. We take the permit from the council and we include the council. And with that, that's it.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to be in an association to drive initiative.
Yeah, of course.
As people that reach out to, the global community and the community at large, we have the networks and we can start facilitating. But it would be good to have the cultural associations to do that. And when you've got a youth committee, why not have like a sister relationship with from the island or wherever, if they still exist in Greece, I don't know, and have exchange programs where money can go to sending some of these kids to live an experience in Greece and, reciprocate. So then when we bring youth from Greece, we listen to what is it that you do in Greece? What is it that interests you? What's the culture like? Give us some insight so we're relevant here with our youth in line with what's happening in Greece now, not in line with what our grandparents did or our parents when they first arrived in the country. That's how I see. As a project facilitator, which is what I do, I tend to look at things in a holistic space and join all those holistic dots to deliver a project that has longevity and a future.
Well, the truth, Christine, is that people, as the years goes by, they're moving away from these associations. They don't trust them anymore.
They're tired.
They're tired.
They're tired of the crap.
They're tired in general, and they find them not attractive.
Yeah.
That's why they're not getting involved. But these things needs to change in order to have an evolution, to continue maintaining our identity and our culture.
Yes. And our identity with current Greece as well, not just
Of
our
course.
identity
That's
with,
what I mean.
I'm the first one to put up my hand and say the best period in Greece is the 1960s.
Come
Movies.
on, Boomer.
No, but it's the classical period. But I know that we can't stay locked in that period. We've got to be relevant. And I think that is the key word on this entire podcast.
Updated.
Relevant.
And updated. Please.
Yes.
Be up to date. Okay, souvlaki is good. Kalamatiano is good. But there are other things as well that haven't been touched.
Yes.
So please dig deeper and try to find things to attract new people in the committees, in the societies, in the associations.
From my own point of view, if I want to experience Greek culture that really lights me up, I wait till I go to Greece. I'll see the different plays that are there, different music appreciation, food experiences, political ideologies and interactions. I don't get that here.
No, that's true. That's true. I think we should start doing a few things as a Greek Podyssey for the community
Let
as
me add
well.
one more thing to my ever-growing list of things I don't have to do.
Come on, you can't only go in Greece twice or once a year, taking
do it
your
here.
energy and come back here. You need to give something back.
And this is why, Nico, when I do go to Greece, you won't find me, I'll go, but you won't find me stuck at a beach bar. I get in amongst the nooks and the crannies and the locals and their book launches and meeting people and drawing ideas and inspiration from them that you don't tend to find here. Sorry, I don't.
Yes, that's true. And that's why we love going to Greece.
Yes.
Because
It's
we
not
can't...
just for the sun. Look, I don't even order Freddo cappuccinos. I have a standard Diplo.
Come
Metrio.
on. Yeah, but you drink Greek coffee. That's different.
Exactly,
You're,
yes.
not, you're not having your instant coffee in there.
No.
No, look, espresso, it's a must.
Yes.
The first thing when I'm at the airport, I'm going outside, rolling a cigarette, ordering my coffee, and I say, okay, I'm here now.
Yeah, but you're a Greek. You grew up there for 40 years. This is why I love the Hellenic Initiative. The Hellenic Initiative has it down pat. The women of the Diaspora, I really have to give that a big plug and congratulate Steady It's Hill that put it together. It was getting women that visionary, achieving in Parliament House in conjunction with the embassy. They put that forum on, which for me was a lifeline. It was wonderful. They also have projects that connect directly to Greece that make a difference with socio-economic and humanitarian, and they're relevant. They're a Greek organisation that connects with the Diaspora but also connects successively with Greece with purpose.
And you know why? Because there are no politics. There is only one goal.
Exactly.
To help and to help to the max.
Exactly.
Greece.
And that's what happens when you have a group of like-minded people that are achieving, that don't need to do things for a pat on the back, that don't need to do things for power because they're all successful in their own right. They've come together for the good of the community. And this is what we need around the world. I think we've covered it well, Nico.
Yeah, I think so. For me, there is a future in these associations. There is a future when we change our minds, when we do the upgrade, when we go to Greek Associations 2.1.
Yes.
We need this. Change your hard disk. Change your memory. You do the upgrade and
Change your constitution.
change
Change
whatever
your
it needs to be
constitution.
changed.
Yeah.
Don't stuck in 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
As I said, Kalamatiano and Souvlaki, it's beautiful, but there are other things there that you haven't touched.
Yeah. I
And
think it
we're
all
not
comes down
talking
to
in particular for any like specific association because this is a general problem.
Do you know there are still constitutions from associations, organisations that incorporated 100 years ago? You cannot function because laws have changed, legislative acts have changed. You need to update your constitutions that are fair, equitable, transparent and clear-cut. At the moment, most organisations don't follow a constitution. The constitution's there, but it's like a dog's breakfast. It's antiquated. It's geared towards retaining power rather than sharing power. I wouldn't even call it power. Sharing ideas and sharing leadership. Serving the community. Yeah.
Serving the community. Well, I hope to see more young people getting involved in these associations, in all associations, so we can have the young blood in, the fresh ideas, the spirit of the young generations, and I think this will make a big difference.
Absolutely.
In the future.
And the ones that are in the power, in the committees, knowing when it's your time's up and being a good role model and a mentor and allowing a path of succession with the right constitution.
And remember, again, I'll say that you representing, and I'm talking to everyone who is involved in a committee, including you.
No,
Christine.
you're representing us.
Yeah, but that includes you because you're a member of a committee. So you're representing Greece.
Yep.
So better be careful what you're doing with your choices.
We're watching.
And all that. We're watching.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for listening or watching another episode with us, and looking forward
Actually,
to the
thank
next
you
one.
for following us because our following is really expanding. Our engagement is, we love people that comment because we try to get back to all the comments. You can listen to us on Spotify. You can watch us on YouTube and obviously on our social media. You get the shorts, you get the little flavour. A lot of people say to me, but how do I watch the whole episode? Because they see the short. If you see a short and you like what the topic is, hop onto Spotify, hop onto YouTube. So when you're seeing a short, just know that that's leading up to the next episode, which will be launched every Thursday. We launch new episodes on Thursday. The shorts are leading up to that episode. So then when you want to watch the episode, click on to Spotify or YouTube Thursday and beyond. We do a week in advance.
The Greek Podyssey.
The Greek Podyssey. Thank you,
Christine.
Thank you, Nico.
I'll see you in the next one.
Yes. I'm Christine Stavropoulos.
Κι εγώ, ο Νίκος Σαμίδης.
Maybe you were born in Athens. Or maybe you're Yawels.
Ίσως μεγάλωσες μιλώντας σου ελληνικά. Ή ίσως είσαι το ξαδελφάκι που φεύγει για Ντουμπάι για δουλειά για 1 χρόνο μόνο.
Wherever you are in the world, if Greece lives in your heart,
Αυτό το ταξίδι είναι για σένα. Φύγαμε.